Welcome back to the program. So, the fraud investigation into the Somali sewer rats, is what I'll call them, is just heating up. There's been reports that 1 billion, yeah, right. Try 8 billion, okay? And who knows, it might even be higher than that. And now we're finding out that all the suspects that we've been talking about all these years, the Ilhans, the Keith Ellisons, the Tim Walls, the Tampon Timmy, all of these people are all involved. All of them. And probably even the mayor, Jacob Frey, who apparently was choking on Somali food for the cameras, sitting next to some Somali swine rat next to him. And I thought to myself, gee, I wonder if he's going to be having some Somali sausage for dessert with the guy sitting next to him. But I digress. Anyway, listen to this.
Fraud investigators are finding in Minnesota is growing by the day. Kelly Loeffler, who leads the Small Business Administration, says in the 2 days her agency has been investigating the state, they've uncovered at least $1 million in PPP fraud just 2 days in. Several of the whistleblowers in Minnesota have also told lawmakers they believe the total amount of fraud could total up to more than $8 billion. Governor Tim Walz, who is up for re-election, is under fire for all of this happening under his watch. But he says they have paused these programs. They've brought in outside auditors to get an idea of how far-reaching this fraud was. They're taking steps to keep it from happening again. And he's defending his management of the state while also taking shots at Republicans and the president.
And in spite of the headwinds we're up against, Minnesota ranks economically, economic growth, happiness, number of people insured, education levels, near the very top. So I'll tell you what, I have no interest in having this state look like Oklahoma or Mississippi. And if folks are going to...
Why? States that actually are run corrective and red states that balance their budgets and have surpluses and are in good shape, those are the ones you have a problem with?
Commit crimes here, thinking because our generous spirit and our programs that we have is going to give them some kind of cover, they are sadly mistaken.
Yeah, Minnesota is also now home to the single largest pandemic fraud scheme in the country. And Republicans argue that Walz and other Democrats opened the door to this.
Now, I am now hearing that California, because it's such a larger state than Minnesota, the fraud that is in California could be 16, 24, 40, 50, 60, 100 billion dollars in fraud. Okay? That's what I'm hearing. And so some people in California are looking into it. They're doing some whistleblowing and things like that. But the problem in California is just about every single politician is a rabid leftist. And so they're not going to do any type of investigations, obviously. So it would have to be the federal government or it would have to be whistleblowers. So we'll see what happens. But I'm telling you right now, they're all going to be wrapped up in this, okay? They're all going to be wrapped up in this. Several high-profile Minnesota Democrats have been linked to campaign donations totaling over $53,000 from individuals involved in the Somali sewer rat scams, one of the largest welfare fraud scandals in U.S. history. The Somali community scheme centered around the nonprofit Feeding Our Future, in which they would siphon off approximately $250 million in federal taxpayer funds intended to feed children during the COVID-19 pandemic, but were instead used for luxury purchases like mansions and high-end shopping sprees. Imagine that, taking money away from impoverished children. Probably quite a few of them Somali children as well. But it wasn't about that. It was about lining their pockets. It was about feeding their greed and doing what they did. The total fraud, including state payments, has reached already over $1 billion. There is currently a federal investigation that has already indicted 75 people, with more than half pleading guilty to charges including wire fraud and bribery. According to a report from the New York Post, Minnesota's top law enforcement official and officer, Attorney General Keith Ellison, received $10,000 from businessmen linked to the scandal. This includes 3 $2,500 donations on the same day following a 2021 meeting with the Somali business leaders. two of whom later became criminal defendants. One donor, Gandhi Muhammad, was indicted on federal bribery and fraud charges in 2024. Rep. Ilhan Nuar Saeed Elmi Omar, representing Minnesota's 5th District, where many of the indicted individuals reside, introduced the 2020 Meals Act. So she helped make it easy for these people, these Somali sewer rats, to be able to steal. This legislation passed with bipartisan support. Well, of course it would, because there's no real Republicans there. Loosened federal rules on meal programs by waiving site inspections and allowing bulk take-home food with minimal verification and oversight. Changes that directly enabled the $250 million fraud scheme. Omar received $7,400 from 3 convicted Somali fraudsters, which her campaign returned only after the indictments came down in 2022, according to the New York Post. Omar hosted her 2018 Congressional Victory Party at Safari Restaurant, co-owned by Salim Ahmed Saeed. Gee, I wondered, did she bang him? Did she marry that guy too? Same last name. Who was convicted of stealing over $12 million by claiming $3.9 million in phantom meals. Saeed used the funds for a $2 million mansion and $9,000 monthly Nordstrom sprees. In 2020, Omar appeared on video at the restaurant praising the program. One of her campaign's, quote, enforcers, Guhad Hashi Saeed, another one that she probably banged and married, no relation to the restaurant owner, pleaded guilty to running a fake food scam and stealing $3.2 million. Omar claims no knowledge. No, of course not. I had no idea. I not know anything at all. Maybe I have my rag on head too tight. Claims no wrongdoing, but as Bill Glahn of the Center of the American Experiment told the Post, she knew exactly who all these people were. She knew exactly what these people were doing. She personally knew many of them, and she knew that they were all making tens of millions of dollars through this program. Either she's terminally naive or she knew and didn't care and looked the other way. Well, I think we know the answer to that. She's a scumbag, she's a serpent, and she's a disgusting excuse for a human being. Minneapolis City Councilman Jeremiah Ellison, the son of Keith Ellison, received $3,000 from donors, including Ikram Muhammad, brother of indicted co-conspirator Gandhi Muhammad. His campaign reportedly returned the funds only after the scandal broke. Minneapolis Mayor, this guy's a total loser, Jacob Frey, took in $9,000 from 9 defendants in the case. This is why this little pipsqueak runs around, gets in front of the camera, and speaks oingo boingo Somali bullshit in front of the camera, trying to impress the people that are keeping him in power. A former policy aide, Abdul Noor Salah, pleaded guilty to wire fraud. Frey's campaign returned the money, and he recently won re-election in November of 2025. State Senator Omar Fatah, you know, the one that looked like the terrorist captor on the Tom Hanks movie Captain Phillips, yeah, that guy, received $11,000 from connected donors, including $1,000 from Muna Wais Fudhin, the 75th person charged for these fraud claims. His campaign also returned the cash after the scandal went public. So basically, everyone got caught, you took all the money, and you think just returning the money and saying, oh, I had no idea that I have this kind of money in my coffers. Oh, I give it all back. You think that the shit is going to just go away from there? No. I want to see every single one of you Somali swamp fucking rats gone. Every one of you. Every one of you. I don't care if they take you in the middle of the night by your pipsqueak little necks and drag you the fuck out of our country. That's what I want to see done. Where was I? 2 of the biggest fraud donations were given to candidates running against each other for mayor. Gahn said both Frey and Omar Fatah took in thousands of dollars in donations from the people committing the fraud, and it played absolutely no role in the election. State Senator John Hoffman got $3,000. Former State Representative John Thompson received $1,000, and Washington State House candidate Shukri Olo, a Democrat, of course, took in $8,750 from all of these indicted scammers. Now, when Brooke Rollins, who is, by the way, filing multiple lawsuits against at least 17 states because they're refusing to hand over their SNAP benefit program information and documentation, you're going to see a whole bunch more of these Somali sewer rat type of scandals, maybe not with Somalis, but with other people. And you're going to see them in Michigan, you're going to see them in Wisconsin, you're going to see them in California, you're going to see them in New Jersey, you're going to see them in Connecticut, you're going to see them in Oregon, you're going to see them in Washington State. All these blue shitholes is where you're going to find all of this fraud. It's coming. I don't know how soon it's coming, but the federal government is focused like a laser. The United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, is on it. Brooke Rollins is solid. She's one of the founding members, along with many others, in the Trump administration for Project 2025. She was with Trump during the time they stole the election from him. She is MAGA to the core, and she's not going to let up. So I wanted to point all that out because I'm telling you right now, if Ilhan goes down, I'm going to dance on your serpent grave, okay? Because I owe you big time. I am going to throw a huge party if you get indicted. You absolute disgusting excuse for a human being. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.